Now, 1 week after the Calais refugee camp was dismantled, French authorities are clearing out another makeshift camp in northeast Paris. Hundreds of refugees around the Stalingrad metro are being bused to temporary shelters. Aid groups say up to 3,000 people have been camped out in the area in recent weeks. Well, Peter Humi joins us now from Paris, where the clearances and the protests are continuing. Peter, what is the latest then? Are the migrants still on the streets of Paris?
Yes, they are. In fact, this operation led by the police and the town hall of Paris began shortly after 6 a.m. this morning, so just over about 3 hours or so ago. What you can see happening over my right shoulder is the high visibility yellow vests. Those all belong to volunteers and workers from the town hall of Paris, and there's a heavy police presence. There's a bus right now waiting to pick up some more of the refugees. I understand that all the families with children have already boarded on buses, have been taken to alternative and slightly more organized refugee centers across the country. What we're looking at now is couples, possibly without children, and eventually it'll be single people, the elderly first, and then single men, this all according to officials I spoke to on my way here. However, on my way here, I did still see some refugees on the street. They are slowly being rounded up and brought to this embarkation point, if you like. One of the reasons that this camp is being cleared is that, well, it's getting very cold now, this time of the year. In fact, it's raining now. It's also extremely unhealthy. There were no sanitation measures. And indeed, there was a rumor that smallpox had broken out amongst the 3,000 or so refugees here. In fact, officials deny that. There was one case of measles. So the operation is underway. It's all passed very calmly. There's been no incidents and no arrests up to this point.
Peter, you mentioned that the migrants are going to other centres across the country. What's the infrastructure like at these centres? Are the French authorities able to cope and house the sheer number of migrants that France has at the moment?
Yes, well, that's right. There was the highly publicized Calais camp, the so-called jungle, which now the refugees that were there have been redistributed across the country. The short answer is yes, the authorities can cope. Some of the alternative accommodation may not be ideal, and if, in fact, given little notice to some of the regional authorities. There was a local mayor of a small town in the west of France that said, well, he was told just 36 hours before the arrival of several hundred refugees. So the organization seems to be in place, but it's a matter of trying to act as quickly as possible to get these people into some kind of better shelter, certainly for the winter months ahead.
Okay, Peter, thank you.